The conversation around religion and politics, in one sense, you think of something like, I am a secular, cosmopolitan Los Angelino. What is that person's commitment in a sense of bringing about justice, a commitment to a truth-seeking endeavor in political discourse? And the idea is that everyone's working to make a better Los Angeles, right? Something like that. And while we don't know exactly what the definition of the good life is, we're relatively confident in things that it's not. Like, we know it's not poverty, we know it's not starvation, it's not hunger, and those sort of things. So is it political when an organization runs a homeless shelter, or when an organization is committed to getting food in the hands of people who are hungry, and those sort of things? Is that political? Is that moral? Is that religious? The boundaries start to get kind of slippery in that sense. I'm Ryan Gillespie. I'm a lecturer at UCLA in the program for the study of religion. If by religion we mean a comprehensive way of understanding the way the world works, who we are, where we're from, why we're here, what we owe each other, right? Those sort of things. Religion has answers to those things, but everybody has to work out an answer to those things. So in that sense, we're all on equal footing, which to some degree should be good in a small d democratic practices sense of no one view has a monopoly. The Enlightenment experiment of democracy is, what if the state wasn't in the defining what the good life is for its citizens business? It's an experiment, the idea of how far you can go without sort of unification, either from a bottom-up sense of we all believe these things, or a top-down sense of you have to go along with these things, puts significant pressure on a democratic populace. It worked pretty well in the sense for a few hundred years, but you had a relatively homogeneous society for those first few hundred years. One of the things that I think can help us as we think through these particularly contentious times is the language that we use. Maybe the way forward is to think through certain terms and using those terms to then highlight our differences and our similarities. So religion has been a term that can be a rallying cry in certain circles, right? If we use terms like commitment, trust, hope, everyone has stuff that they're committed to. Everyone has something where they put their hope in, like, this is why I think things will be better tomorrow than they were today. And trust plays a role both in the democratic sense that we have to use some degree of trust in our citizenry and with institutions and our elected leaders. The language of politics is often futural, that it will be more just in the future. The highlight that I'm offering is that is not necessarily any different. It's not better or worse than. You're not necessarily talking a different language than our religious friends are talking when they're having those same conversations.